friends, sit back, relax. I am Ryan. I am a commercial and session player and all-around gear junkie, and this is my studio. Tonight we're going to check out something that I'm super excited about. It's no secret that I am a big fan of Silktone amps, and that Charles and I are really great friends. We went out to Los Angeles a couple months ago to help him film some stuff for the Fuzz Plus, and but I just want to let you know that my taste rises above my loyalty to friendship. So I am not biased because of our friendship. I just think that they're really, really great products. And one of the really, really great products in my mind that he had made was the Micronaut. And this was 4 watts. And in my opinion, it was one of the best. It is one of the best kind of mini amps that there is out there. It's 4 watts. It has headroom. It has clean headroom in it, which is not something that you typically get from low watt amps like this. Has a direct out with a volume there. It's a it was a novel amplifier, if you ask me. The Echonaut is a continuation of the Micronaut, and actually Charles is building up a whole Naut N-A-U-T series, and I have played another one from that series that I probably shouldn't talk about. So what's different with the Echonaut? First off, it is more powerful. It is now about up to 8 watts. It has tube reverb going. It has a cabinet with a 10-inch speaker that doesn't sound like a 10-inch speaker, like whatsoever, because of how the cabinet was built. It will reach 40 hertz, which is pretty deep. So that's deep. It is just a great amplifier. It still has the line out. It still has the 2 modes. It still has all of the mojo of the Micronaut, just more. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to run it down on a mix, and I am going to use it on multiple guitar tracks, of course. I will use it on Rhodes, and I am going to play bass through it. I'm going to play bass through an 8-watt amplifier with a 10-inch speaker, and you're going to hear that it sounds awesome. After that, come on back here, and we'll get some sounds out of the Echonaut all by its lonesome. Thanks for sticking around. If you, like me, are a gear nerd who spends way too much time in your dark studio rather than being outside with normal human beings, this is a place for you. Don't be a stranger. Please like, subscribe, comment below. I'm always interested in what you have to think, even when I disagree with you. All right, so let's talk some specs on this amp. We mentioned it was 8 watts. It's powered by 2 EL84s. Those are in parallel. It's not a push-pull situation. In the preamp, we have a 12AX7. We have a 12DW7, which powers the reverb, I assume. Custom Sour Sound transformers, not only the main transformer, but also the transformer for the line out has its own Sour Sound transformer as well. I mentioned it has a 10-inch speaker. It's a custom Silktone 10-inch ceramic speaker, which is designed after the speaker that he has in the Silktone amp, as well as the parallel. Controls are gain, reverb, tone. We got that voice switch. Voice 1 is very clean. Voice 2 is very driven and harmonically rich. I have this amplifier mic'd up with a C414 XLS as well as a Cascade Fathead. And, I'm trying to capture that sound of that cabinet, and I just don't know if I'm going to get there. It's hard to capture the sound of this cabinet in a room. Because again, I don't know how many times I can say this. It doesn't sound like a 10-inch speaker. So let's grab some sounds. I have a Cyberguitars OH19 here, and we're in the voice 1, the mode 1, which is the cleaner mode. Go with a bridge pickup, and I think we're gonna get some honk. Let's talk a little bit about this reverb. I know Charles spent a lot of time on this reverb. Wanted to get the best sound that you possibly could out of a single tube without sacrificing the sound of the rest of the amp. So we've been running it, at noonish. Let's go up a little bit. It's pretty good. Let's a little bit more there. I like it right there because it's like you get a little bit, but it's not too crazy. That's why I think it's good. Kind of like 2 o'clock area. So now that we've got that, let's mess with some more gain, huh? So there we messed around with the tone knob. It's a tilt EQ. I think it sounds really great on 2. I think that the reverb sounds really great on 2. And this is just a funny aside. Joe Perry is a big user of the Micronaut. And for years, I used Joe Perry's settings on my Marshalls because I thought he had a really, really great sound. and he just put everything on 7. So I wonder if, when Joe plays through his Micronaut, he just puts everything at 2 o'clock. Like, I don't know. I'll have to investigate that some. Let's move on to the second channel, which is far more driven. I'm turning up the volume. I'm liking the reverb less and less, so we're going to pull it back a little bit. Also, I think we could probably stand to brighten it a little bit. Again, like the magic of 2 o'clock on this amp is amazing. Like this sounds super good to me. So good. Let me grab some humbuckers real quick. All right, I have a Heritage Guitars H150 here. It's standard. The only difference is I have some Righteous Sound REF2 pickups in here. Let's grab some humbucker sounds. I bet it sounds amazing. That's like almost like martially. So I played bass on that track and it ran through the Echonaut. And I didn't really do a whole heck of a lot other than change some EQ. I went into mode 1. I used this Fender Music Master bass here from the 70s. I had this Nordy mute on it, which is like my life now. This is the coolest thing ever. And I added a compressor. So Fairfield Circuitry Accountant. And the sound that I got, and I played with a pick, the sound that I got was similar to this. you're probably like, pick bass, short scale, mute. Does that really count as bass? I don't know. Let's find out. All right, so I have a Sipe Guitars OH16 here, and change the settings just a little bit, but still great sounds. Again, brighten that up a little bit. I like that little bit of hair that you get on there. And I talk about this ad nauseum, but I'm going to mention again, you know, like when you hear that in a mix, it's going to sound just clean. When you hear it on its own, you get that little bit of distortion. But that is going to sound absolutely clean in a mix. And that little bit of saturation is going to make it sound so much better. You know, big fan of the Micronaut, and so it's no shock that I am a big fan of the Echonaut. It is just a really, really cool sounding amp, really versatile, and it weighs like nothing, and it's just like a little grab and go. You know, I think as far as like the Silktone stuff goes, this is one of the better bangs for your buck. Silktone stuff is, I mean, it's an investment, you know, but this one would be a really, really good entry point for someone who isn't ready for like a parallel or a Silktone amp. Super amazing. I can't wait for the rest of this line to come out. So thank you, Charles, for sending this over for me to check out. And as always, thank you for the privilege of your time.